You're watching Talonted Productions.
You're watching Connect Four.
Like, nerds have been so put upon. And yeah, like now we're in the golden age and everything's coming up Millhouse and we're getting everything we want.
Did you ever walk around though and see people wearing shirts with like Captain America symbols on it and just be like, oh yeah. Like, I suffered for you to wear that shirt.
I'm at Orlando Pride and I see this really cute guy with a Legend of Zelda like stained glass shirt. And I know exactly where it's from. I played it. I'm like, hey, I really love like your Zelda shirt, this and the other. He's like, oh, I just bought this because I thought it looked cool. And I'm just like, sir, you are a liar, and I bid you good day. Good day. I'm old enough to remember, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Oh, hello, my ragtime gal. The frog.
Oh,
what the?
Michigan J Frog, yeah.
Oh my God.
So
the WB.
The WB. I loved TV. I loved anything pop culture. I soaked everything up, and then like I hit college, and it wasn't until one of my best friends, who's my roommate now, he's like, hey, I got this little shop, you know, down the street. Long story short, I work at the first comic book store I felt comfortable in. Like I work at a comic shop in Winter Park.
You can check them out right here, guys. A comic book shop. And like he said, the first comic book he ever felt comfortable in, I have to say the same thing. I mean, I'm a huge friggin' dork, and I know some stuff, but I always felt demeaned. Like the people always seemed to talk down to you, or they would ignore you. And the moment I walked in, you made me feel comfortable. And you, man, you didn't even, you remember my name immediately. I never had to say anything. I walk in, and boom, the guy's got my stuff ready, and then we're having these amazing conversations.
They're really fun, by the way. I look forward to every time you come in. But I can tell you why I always treat everyone like a friend and then actually like become friends with them. Because there's a store in town. The location doesn't exist anymore, but it shall remain nameless. So some of you can kind of piece that. There's a store that I went into as a kid. And I had $20 in my pocket, and my mom was running into the store to buy like perfume, and she's like, stay here. Like, you know, when you're done, you come straight to this other store. I'm like, okay, no problem. I got $20 in my pocket, and I walk into a comic book store for the first time by myself, and I don't know what to buy. And I'm looking, and it's like Superman red, Superman blue, and like everything's bagged. So I'm just like kind of looking at things, trying to figure out like, where do I start? What do I do? And I'll never remember his face, but I'll always remember the way he feels. He's like, kid, you gotta buy something. You can't just like read. We're not
go to the library.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And I remember like being that young and saying, I want to spend money. I love all this stuff. I watch all this stuff. Like I want to read comic books. And it shut me down for years.
Oh, wow.
For years.
How old were you?
I was probably like 10 or 11 at the time.
But this be a lesson to you assholes out there. You're going to lose all kinds of business. This is your fault. No. Doesn't work that way.
I remember like feeling that way, and I was like, I never want to be that person when I work at a comic book store. Like, I never want to be that person. So like, I come in and out of comics for years. In college, I was like, you know, I really like comic books. My roommate was like, hey, like, I'll take you to the store that I really like. So, like, we graduate, we're at the store, and I'm voracious. Like, I am probably like 23. I've been out of comic books for forever. A friend let me borrow House of M.
Oh, great run.
Yeah. And I ate it all. Anything I could get my hands on. Didn't touch DC, because I'm just like, oh, I didn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Now I love DC, but like Marvel was the thing that I needed. I became that you know, that young kid who was like, oh, like I totally want to work here. If you guys need anything at all, like,
is it at the same place?
Yes, Eric and I have become really good friends, and so I went over and started working there. And
what year was that?
This was 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, this was 20. Oh shit. I've hit 6 years. Jesus, fuck.
Congratulations.
And there are things that like I never thought that I would read, and then a new artist or writer comes on, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Or, you know, Jason Aaron gives you this like really epic Thor. Like he's just writing this Thor saga. I remember I interviewed him once for this podcast that I'm on called Flame On, a gay nerdy podcast.
Boom! Check that out right here, guys. Tell them about all the stuff that you have going on.
Okay, so I'm a karaoke host. And I manage a comic book store. And I just hosted my first burlesque show. It wasn't mine.
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is My Geek Goddess.
Okay.
And they're super neat. And they're like, hey, like we're looking for an MC. Do you want to host? And I'm like, yeah.
Where can people check them out?
MyGeekGoddess.com. I've been on a podcast since I think 2012 or 13.
Flame On.
And then,
what about the other one?
So the other one was called Stupid Popcast, which is going through some changes. We're on like an indefinite hiatus. Okay. But the hosts Jessica and Joseph, who are friends of mine, they're really cool, living up in Atlanta, doing all the things. I like spinning a lot of plates. I don't like doing just one thing, I found out.
With you. Yeah. You get bored, you can go over to the other, and then if you get bored with that, you can jump back over here.
So like all these sort of things kind of like spin together in what I do. But anything I do, I always want to have like some sort of like nerdy or geeky bent to, because it's just what I love. Do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, if collecting these amazing collectibles, and there are a lot, and we're
gonna show you guys this this setup I got going on. I've never shown on an episode, so we're gonna debut my collection.
I'm excited.
Here it is. Some of my favorites.
Oh my god! Oh my god! This is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Some of these covers I haven't seen in like probably 20 years. Oh my god! But if collecting makes you happy, and I think it's a waste of time, my idea of you wasting quote unquote your life makes no bit of difference. It means fuck all. Because when I leave, I no longer exist in your life. I no longer have any sort of influence. Not that I had any influence at all.
No, and with that, I challenge you, sir, to a game of Connect 4.
Okay.